Welcome, everybody, to the Frustration to Freedom podcast, helping advisors and insurance producers grow their practice. Episode 3, guys. And my name is Mike Bemis. I'm a senior advisor development consultant at Simplicity, Minneapolis. I got my co-host here, Jeremy Karja, also senior advisor development consultant at Simplicity, Minneapolis. Welcome, Jeremy. How are you doing today?
We're doing good, Mike. Excited to dig in. We have a fun topic today.
We got a fun topic. So we're going to be doing a series now. We're going to have a 4-part series that we're going to be releasing. This is episode 3 of the podcast, episode 1 of the series. There's 4 things that you want to do. There's 4 things you want to do in every first appointment. And the first thing you always want to do, and the topic of today is mastering the art of firing the competing broker. Jeremy, how many producers do you work with, have to work on this craft?
Then, Mike, every single one of them.
Every single one of them. I agree.
You can't be too good at firing the broker.
You cannot. Absolutely. Something that you consistently have to work on. So part of this series, to go back to the series, is with the producers that I work with, and I know, Jeremy, you have the same thing, is a lot of times they run into obstacles or objections in that second or third appointment when they're going for the close. And every single time, in my experience, it's because they did something wrong in the first appointment, right?
That's a great point. Yeah, if you're not closing, you're not getting seconds, you're not getting thirds, you did something wrong in the first appointment 95% of the time, probably, Mike.
I would say 95% of the time is 100% right. So this series that we're going to be doing, it's all going to be about the things you need to do in the first appointment to set up your second and your third appointment to help close the case and help more people, help more clients. Awesome. So, Jeremy, I guess talk a little bit about firing the competing broker. When does that typically happen in the first appointment?
Yeah, good question, Mike. We teach our advisors to do that very early on in the sales process. Like, we're talking the first 5, 10, 15 minutes after the pleasantries, after you get a couple of pieces of information, you start talking about their financials. And as you're talking about the financials, it's a natural transition into, where's this money? What is the plan for this money? What's the goal for this money? So it's a very natural transition to ask, who's managing this money? How long have you been with them? All those important key questions.
Absolutely. I always try to say, what is the true purpose of this money? Why do you have it? I think that's a great question to have. So.
And how many clients know the purpose of that money?
Actually, a lot of them don't. And I'll say you have to ask the right questions. One thing we do with our producers is role play those and help them with the first appointment questions, which we'll have another podcast on that for sure. Coming up.
Maybe a mini role play at the end of this podcast. We'll see.
That'd be fun. That'd be a good time. Sweet. So have you ever had an advisor, lose a case because of a competing broker?
Many cases have been lost due to that other broker. We joke around and we say that other broker is kind of like a vampire. Unless you drive that stake real deep, he's coming back. She's coming back. Yeah, I'll give you a couple of examples here, Mike. And it doesn't take too many of these before you say, I better master the art of firing the broker, like my coaches have taught me. And I had one advisor lost a huge case. It was in the neighborhood of $70,000, $80,000 in commissions. And what happened is he didn't want to admit he missed firing the broker. He said, no, I did fire the broker. I fired the broker. I really did fire the broker, Jeremy. But as we walked through it, we found out you didn't fire the broker, at least not properly. And so basically we just talked through it. And we went through, here's how to fire the broker. Here's how you really do it. Here's some coaching calls on it. And we role played it. And so I thought he had it down, but he was so upset about that 1.2 million commission. The next 7 to 10 cases, he tried to fire the broker a little too hard, which is rare. But he
went all the way to the other side.
All the way to the other ditch. And not one of those 7 to 10 came in for a second appointment. 0. And so we had to recalibrate. We had to recoach that we need to ask the right questions. That's going to be the theme of the podcast, I think, Mike, is if you ask the right questions, figure out where the client's really at, you can decide how hard, how heavy you have to fire that broker and how often.
Exactly. I had a case recently with one of my producers. This lost a $6,000 case to one of the big box ones, right? Because they didn't fire the competing broker. That's a decent commission for the producer. He was another advisor too, had a series license, but didn't go deep into the relationship or would they move that money. I think a big thing, think of it this way. What do you think the other advisor is going to do? Do you think they want to lose that revenue? They're a business person too. Or, they're not going to shoot fireworks in there and say, you know what, I never thought of that. I think I would like to lose that account. And I'm joking, right? But they're a business owner too. So, through our coaching program, we have lots of power phrases that we use, right? One of the ones is, hey, I'm not here to drive a wedge. That's a great one to use. I'm not here to drive a wedge. How would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your competing broker? Yeah. Right? That's a great question to ask, right?
And if they say a 6, 5, what do you do there, Mike?
I would say, I would say that's a good chance that they're going to become a client. First of all, one of the biggest things in there is to get the commitment through the conversation that, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, if I become with a plan and it checks all the boxes and it meets all your goals, would you be open to making a change with some of your funds? That's a big question that you want to ask, right? You got to get that commitment, right?
Now what? Go ahead, sorry.
No, you can go ahead. It's fine.
I was just going to ask you, so what if that person says, I've been with them for 20 years, I give them an 8 out of 10. Where do you go with that one, Mike?
That's a great question. One question you could ask, hey, it's my fraternity brother. I've been with him for 20 years. He does 8 out of 10. He's done great.
How do you know them?
How do you know them, right? And so a couple things you could say is, depending on the conversation, you say, there's a lot of people that are good at accumulation. And you've been going through the accumulation phase right now in your life, and frankly, the market's gone up pretty much the majority of the time over the last few years, right? It's been a great run, right? But what I understand is that when you're not adding those funds and you're in the distribution phase, things can change. Sorry, another 5-star tip here. We talk about power phrases all the time, right? And so another power phrase that I like to use is, strategies can work in the accumulation phase, but when you're distribution phase, you need a plan. Strategies can fail, but plans work. And so it could be a great person. Another great question to ask them is, then why are you here?
Yeah, I love that. Why are you in my office?
Why are you in my... And you can be cordial and nice about it, right? But why are you here?
Yeah, Mike, I like to think of it this way. If you have somebody sitting across the table from you, and they say they golf with this broker every week, they're good buddies, they're hanging out, they give them an 8 out of 10, they give them a 9 out of 10, they've been with them for 10, 15 years. In your mind, the mindset should be right there is, this case is not mine. I am not going to get this case unless I push really, really hard. So that's the distinction. Like my guy who lost 7 to 10 cases in a row and pushed him too hard. Well, that's okay to push him hard when they give him a 7 or above out of 10. When they say they've been with him for 15 years, right? Where they really like their broker, you better push really hard. Your mindset better be, I'm going to lose this case if I don't push really, really hard and say, why are you in my office? And role play and even say the words, you're not going to move this money, right? And this is, again, assuming all these factors matter. This is assuming a majority of the money is with that broker. Now,
yes,
you have to be smart, because if that's only, 1/4 of their retirement and they have other assets you can move to achieve their goals, you don't have to even go for that money. Forget that money right now, right, Mike?
That's exactly where I was going, Jeremy. I was going the exact same way. Great minds think alike, because, through the right questions that we can coach you to ask in that first appointment, you can find what money's on the table and what money is off the table. I think it's a great mindset to have when you're asking questions in that first appointment, is to figure out what money's on the table. I just actually had a case. I literally was driving in the car because I had to use my time wisely, talking to a producer about a case. And, this person has like $3 million. Okay. And she was upset with her, I'm going to call it ABC advisor. You would know the company. Okay. And she was open to moving 630,000 of her 3 million. And I said, I'm gonna call it Joe, my agent Joe, not the real name, but I said, take the win, right? She's offering you some of the money. Take the win, design the plan. The 600,000 doesn't quite meet her goals, but it gets her a lot closer. And there's still 2.4 million to work with later. Make her a client, right? She gave you the sale.
And I love that, Mike. And that also goes along with the other stuff we've taught in the other calls. Basically, it's a gear system, right? It all works together. So if this advisor, Joe, follows our entire gear system, which teaches you treat them with Godiva level treatment. Don't leave tire marks on their driveway after you sell that annuity and get that big commission. Instead, treat them like really, really well. You're going to have an annual review or maybe twice a year meeting with that individual, and you're going to talk about goals, and you're going to redo the plan, and you're going to update their asset summary and their personal financial inventory binder. You're going to do all these things, and then they're going to start to see that you're the distribution advisor. You're the advisor that helps them get not just to, but through retirement. And therefore, where do you think that 2.4 million is going to eventually come to piece by piece, right? Is it going to go to the accumulation guy that just keeps building it but has no real plan that's going to get you through retirement? Or is it going to go to the safe money individual that has an actual plan to get through retirement?
100%. So as we wrap up this episode, I would say, a big thing is you got to get that commitment. If you come and join, we talk about Team Elevate that we're creating here, right? And if you come join Team Elevate, we're going to role play these cases with you. We're going to give you all those power phrases. We highlighted maybe 5 of the 25 power phrases that you can use for, firing the competing broker. And so, we're doing this because we want to help more people, right? We want to help more producers.
Let's give them a real quick role play, Mike. Do you want to be the advisor or client here?
I'll be the advisor. I feel a little feisty today.
I wanted to be, but we're gonna.
You sure?
I get the next one.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
So let's say I'm the client. We sit down, Mike, just to set the stage, and I have a relationship with my advisor. You just met me. You maybe knew me. Maybe you came to a seminar or a referral or something. But I have an advisor relationship, and so we get through the pleasantries. You're going through the investments. And let's pick it up right from there.
Awesome. So, Jeremy, I see you have a bunch of mostly some qualified assets here. I see that, about half of it was with, Edward Jones. How long you been there?
With the Edward Jones guy, it's coming up on, what would you say, honey? Maybe 14 years, something like that.
Wow.
14 years.
Wow. So, how has he been doing for you? Really, give me, 1 terrible. 10, he's amazing. How's he been doing for you?
I mean, he's good. He doesn't. We don't lose a lot of money. We lost a little, but it came back. He told us to hold on, and we did, and it came back. So he's good. I would give him a 7 or 8, I guess.
All right. Wow. So let me ask you this. I mean, has he ever put the plan together for you? Do you know when to take Social Security, when you can retire, how long your money's going to last? Has he walked you through that process?
Stuff kind of like that. I mean, his stuff's good. It shows me the returns and the charts, and shows me that, as long as I keep getting, the market keeps returning like it always does and keeps coming back, even when it goes down, we should be fine, is what he told us.
I've heard that a lot, that you're not the first person to tell me that, to be honest with you. And here's the thing. I'm not here to drive a wedge. I mean, the person that you work with could be an awesome guy. And there's a lot of people that, they know what they know, and they know what they've been taught. And there's a lot of great people out there that are great accumulation specialists and do great when you're adding money to that. And lots of times it goes up because you keep adding and the market goes up over time. But my experience is when you stop adding money, it's not just a strategy, but you need a plan. Because strategies can fail, but plans work. Right? And so what we do in our practice is we really focus on actually having a plan, so no matter what, you have the retirement that you not just need, but that you want.
Okay, fair enough.
So let me ask you this. I have to run an assessment. I don't know what we're going to do yet, and I have actually a lot more questions for you, to be honest with you. But if I put together a plan, my team and I, we put time into every plan that we do for all of our clients. So if we go through a plan, we check all the boxes, and it helps meet all your goals. Like, bam, you're saying, Mike, that's like a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's an 11 out of 10. It's amazing. If we do that for you, and I don't even know if we're going to use some of that money, are you open to making a change with some of that money?
I mean, yeah, I'm open to it for sure. It's just, of course I'd want to run it by him. I've been with him for 14 years, and we're part of this golf club we do in the summers. So I'd just run it by him, and get his thoughts quick.
Let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought that up. So if you bring that by him, what do you think he's going to do? I mean, so he's a business owner. That's how he makes a living. That's how he's a part of that golf club.
Okay.
Do you think he's going to shoot fireworks in the air and say, "That's an awesome idea, Jeremy. I want to lose this account"? I'm joking, right?
Well, now that you put it that way, Mike, yeah, I guess he's not. But I mean, shouldn't I get a second opinion? You hear that a lot.
Here's what I'd have to say, because I've been doing this a long time, and again, your producer, your agent can be a great guy, is that they're going to say one or two things. They're going to say, "That's a terrible idea," and come up with some reason because they don't want to lose the account. Or number two, they're going to say, "I can do that too." And a lot of accumulation guys say that, "I can do that too." But my question for you, Jeremy, is why haven't they done it already? Yeah, I get that a lot.
I can see your point there.
And so I would just say this. Again, going back to my original question, if I come with a plan that you love, it checks all your boxes, are you open to moving that money? And you don't have to talk to them. But again, only if it's a 10 out of 10. Only if I meet your goals. If you don't like it, that's fine. And I wish you the best of luck. Are you okay with maybe some of it if it makes sense?
Yeah, I'd be okay moving some of it.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Awesome. Well, let's keep going on it. I got some more questions for you.
Okay.
Decent role play?
Good. Yeah, I love that, Mike. I love how I want everyone to notice. Many advisors would ask a couple questions and move on. I love how you stayed on the subject. You kept asking questions. You heard 14 years, you heard golf club, and you stayed on the subject, and you didn't want to, just say, "Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Hope for the best." And that's, again, part of the gear system, right? If this is your one of 5 prospects you have for the entire year, then you're probably going to, play it nicer and be more careful. But if you have 20 prospects, first appointments this month, I know some of my advisors, they are really harsh. They would say, "Hey, listen, 14 years is a long time. You're not going to move that money. Let's not pretend you're going to move that money." They'll talk that bluntly to the clients, and they'll really push them hard. And why not? And again, the mindset, you have nothing to lose, right?
Nothing to lose.
I love how you just stayed on it, kept asking questions, which goes along with our theme of this call anyway.
Exactly. So, hey, I think that's it for today. Again, if you guys want to be a part of Team Elevate, we always have our calendar link. If you want to learn more about how to fire in the competing broker, if you want to learn about those 25 power phrases that we use, it's really their questions to ask in that first appointment to help fire the competing broker. Obviously, we'd love to help you do that. So, Jeremy, I think that was a good episode. I'm excited about this series.
If you've ever lost a big commission, book a call with us. We'll role play the next one. If you're concerned you're not going to get this next one, or you have a big opportunity in front of you, let us walk you through how to close that case, how to fire that broker. We love role-playing cases, right, Mike?
Love role-playing cases. My favorite thing to do. All right, guys. Team Elevate. Let's go.